Hey friends, so today I'm making the Malign staff from Dragon Age for my Morgan cosplay. The first thing that I did was cut my PVC pipe to size. I want to say it was about a ½ inch PVC pipe. It was pretty thin. I'll be putting 6mm foam around it that I will carve into to make a tree branch looking thing. I heated up the PVC to bend it with my heat gun into a more natural tree branch shape. Next, I measure around the PVC pipe and put that measurement plus a little bit extra to make up for the thickness of the foam onto the foam, and then I cut that out. You can also measure by cutting a thin strip of the foam and wrap it around the pipe or dowel or whatever you're trying to get a measurement of and how thick you'll need it, and then you can just put that onto the foam as well. Next, I heat up the foam and prepare it to get wrapped around the PVC pipe. Foam has to be very malleable as it's going around a pretty skinny pipe. This was quite hard on my fingers, but I glued one side to the PVC pipe and just wrap the other side around and glue that down. I did bevel the edges so that there was little to no seam, but the bend in the PVC pipe actually made this a little bit difficult, so there were some weird bumps and stuff, but I sanded it starting with a low grit rotary tool bit to get it all one even level, and then I sand it with a higher grit bit a high grit bit to further smooth it down just a little bit. Next, I quick seal the seam and I just kind of glomp it on there, and then I spread it out with my finger and I use water to smooth it even more. After that, I use my rotary tool again to smooth the quick seal and carve the details into the foam. I carve a large spiral down the whole thing, and then I use different bits to create a tree branch look. I really wanted an organic feel to this, so the details are as random as possible. I just kind of went crazy with my rotary tool, honestly. Next, I cut out the horn thing that sits at the top of the staff. I used 2 pieces of 10mm foam to make this. I carved channels in the middle for the dowel that gets attached to the top of the staff, and I glue them on. I do go back in later with another piece of 10mm foam to thicken out the top spike just a little bit. Next, I sand the horn down. And then I also sand some ridges into the outside of the horn with various sized rotary tool bits. And then I smoothed it even more with some sandpaper. Time to clean. Make sure you clean. That's important. There was sanding dust everywhere. Oh, also, yeah, wear a respirator when you do this. You should not inhale dust. Next, I heat seal everything to close the foam pores and shrink any little bits of foam that could still be on there. I also make the little nails that stick out of the top of the staff with more 10mm foam. I cut them in half and glue them onto the staff, making it look like they were hammered through the top. I'm now attaching the metal pieces at the bottom of the staff that I mimic with some 4mm foam. 1 thick piece and 4 skinny pieces that sit at the top and the bottom of the 1 thick piece. I just glue it to the bottom with some hot glue. Next, I do another round of sanding. I look so excited to sand. I'm so concentrated. Look at that. The rivets are just googly eyes. And then everything gets a nice coat of Plasti Dip. I was almost out of this, so I think I just used the rest of the can, so probably like 3 coats. For painting, I really focused on doing this in layers. I start with a brown coat, and then I sprayed a light brown coat over it to hit the high areas. And then I darken the large spiral that I created and any details that were carved in or that would naturally accumulate dirt with a very dark brown. Then I go in with some black with a very fine brush to further darken these small carved details. And then with black in my airbrush, I again darken more areas like the bottom of it, where the metal pieces are, and like where my hand would go, as that would be kind of more worn down. Then with my silver metallic paint, I paint the metal pieces and the nails. Then I dry brush some black onto the metal pieces to kind of dirty up the metal a bit and give it some wear. Dry brushing is when you have very little paint on your brush and you just kind of, you slam that paint on there. That was such a good definition. Great job, Taylor. Next, I airbrushed this thick string that I had with a very light brown. I didn't want it to be like perfectly bleached looking. You can also do this with tea. You can just let it sit in some tea for a while and it'll tea stain it. I also cut off the bottom part of the staff at an angle, and then I did plug that with some foam. I then take the string and I wrap it around the bottom, securing it in place with some hot glue, and I did the same for the top. Next, I made the little teeth or bones or whatever they are out of some spare warbler that I had and just shaped it with my hands and my clay tool. I painted it white and then I dirtied it up later with some brown. Similar to how I did her feathers for her pauldron, I just airbrushed these feathers at a green gold ombre and I wrapped some string around them, weighed them down with some beads, and then they were tied around the string at the top and glued into place. And that's really it. The staff is done. I think it turned out pretty okay. It's organic looking. It looks like a tree branch, I guess. Could have just gone and like actually got a branch, but I think this works okay too. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to check out my Patreon for more tutorials and behind the scenes content. Thank you so much to my patrons: Adam Hunt, Ali R, Anime Crush, Anon, Blue Panda, Calvin Lewis, David Rosenbaum, Eric, Jennifer Croy, Jim W, Kalika Kaiser, Logan Down Carlos, Malice Meridan, Masamoon, Mark Kitten, Michael, Nathan M, Ninja Ruki, Nanaman, Robert Gallardo, Sakura, Valdemir, and Yandere Dream Girl. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a super awesome rest of the day. Go do awesome creative things, and I will see you guys next week. Next week will probably be my Anime St. Louis vlog, as I am getting ready to go to Anime Central. I will be at Anime Central next weekend and I'm very excited. I hope to see some of you. Yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.